Okay, I've got The Greatest Show on Earth here, by Richard Dawkins. On page 8, uh, he writes this, and this is the final paragraph on page 8. Part of it is on page 9. Evolution is a fact beyond reasonable doubt, beyond serious doubt, beyond sane, informed, intelligent doubt. Beyond doubt, evolution is a fact. The evidence for evolution is at least as strong as the evidence for the Holocaust, even allowing for eyewitnesses to the Holocaust. It is the plain truth that we are cousins of chimpanzees, somewhat more distant cousins of monkeys, more distant cousins still of aardvarks and manatees, yet more distant cousins of bananas and turnips. ... Continue the list as long as desired. That didn't have to be true. It is not self-evidently, tautologically obviously true, and there was a time when most people, even educated people, thought it wasn't. It didn't have to be true, but it is. We know this because of a rising flood of evidence supports it. Evolution is a fact, and this book will demonstrate it. No reputable scientist disputes it, and no unbiased reader will close the book doubting it. Alright, so the ellipsis is in the text itself, the ... And what he's saying there, of course, evolution has been firmly established in the scientific realm. But then, on page 17, the last full paragraph on the page, he writes this: biologists often make a distinction between the fact of evolution, all living things are cousins, and the theory of what drives it. They usually mean natural selection, and they may contrast it with rival theories such as Lamarck's theory of, quote, use and disuse, unquote, and the, quote, inheritance of acquired characteristics, unquote. But Darwin himself thought of both as theories in the tentative, hypothetical, conjectural sense. This was because in those days the available evidence was less compelling, and it was still possible for reputable scientists to dispute both evolution and natural selection. Nowadays, it is no longer possible to dispute the fact of evolution itself. It has graduated to become a theorem or obviously supported fact, but it could still just be doubted that natural selection is its major driving force, and just is in parentheses there. But it could still just be doubted that natural selection is its major driving force. Alright, so Dawkins is saying, yes, evolution has occurred, but you would not be totally and completely perverse to deny that it was primarily through natural selection. Okay, so many scientists probably would say that it's primarily through natural selection. Dawkins says here, by implication, but you don't have to admit that. He says so. When he talks about how awful intelligent design is, the ID movement, what the ID movement is saying, it's calling into question not common ancestry, but natural selection as the primary driving force behind evolution. That's what it's calling into question. So it appears that Dawkins, like Coyne, don't really know what it is that they are arguing against. They set up a straw man and then knock down the straw man instead of dealing with what the ID movement is really saying. Alright, so that was pages 8 and 17 of The Greatest Show on Earth. I actually only paid $1 for this at the local library. I was pretty excited about that. The cover price is $30. So I saved $29. I got this for just $1. Yeah, so If you're going to attack the ID movement, you should first understand it and not be arguing against something that you actually agree with. At least agree with in part. Agree with more than you are letting on in your diatribes against the movement. Alright, so pages 8 and 17 of The Greatest Show on Earth. And there you go. Shalom out.